Today in Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the SCCY DVG-1. This is Adrienne with Review This Thing, where our goal is to always bring you the most honest, thorough, unbiased, unpaid reviews on YouTube. This week, we continue our series on the complete reviews of the guns we featured in our best 9mm for the female shooter video. If you haven't had a chance to watch that, it was a lot of fun to make, so go check it out when you finish this one. Before we get into this, I want you to know that in any footage, other than the footage of us actually shooting it, this handgun is completely unloaded and safe. Today, we want to tell you what we think about the SCCY DVG-1. So, let's review this thing. Let's go ahead and cover all the facts. The first part is fit. I've said this in every single video. Fit is extremely subjective. I'm going to tell you how it fits me, and that might help you make a decision. The only way for you to know for sure how it fits you is to go hold it yourself, and especially if there's any way you can shoot it, that's even better. So my hands are not large at all. It's about 5 inches from my thumb to the end of my middle finger and about 4 1/4 to the end of my first finger. And the width of my last 3 fingers is right at 2 inches. The grip on the DVG-1 is just under 1 1/4. With the magazine, it's about 2 1/4 inches. So I feel like this grip is too short. I myself would much rather be able to get all of my fingers on the grip and not need the magazine for my pinky to be on. Because of the way this gun is designed, I actually get quite a bit of pinching on my pinky between the gun and the magazine whenever I shoot it. The gun also has finger grooves on the front of the grip, which for me, my fingers don't always line up exactly, which also kind of makes it not fit great and be a little uncomfortable. The grip is about 5.5 inches around at its widest point, which personally is a pretty good grip size for me. And another part of fit that was just a little bit off for me is there was something about the way that my thumb fits in the back of the frame. So when I would shoot, I would get a lot of contact between the gun and my thumb joint. I don't know if it was me just gripping incorrectly, but it definitely didn't feel great. Another thing I like to cover on these handguns is how easy is it to reach the things you need to reach from your natural grip. First, the slide release. It is actually pretty easy to reach. However, it is a bit firm, so just keep that in mind. Second is the mag release. Now you would think with this being a compact handgun and the size of the grip being a little bit smaller, that it would be really easy to reach the mag release. I did not have that experience. For some reason, SCCY put the mag release fairly forward on the grip, and it's actually really small too. So for my natural holding position, I can't reach the mag release at all. And whenever I move my hand around to reach it with my thumb, it puts my middle finger over the other side of it. I then have to move that finger out of the way also to be able to work the mag release. Now, obviously with just shooting at the range, it's not a big deal, but if you were doing drills or any other situation where you needed to quickly switch out the mag, I could see that being a problem for me for sure. And lastly, how easily can you reach the trigger? The trigger distance is right at about 2 3/4 inches, which for me is actually a little short. I have found that whenever I'm going from a resting position onto the trigger, that it sometimes gets hung up on the trigger guard. Now, I'm sure that's not a problem if you've practiced and you're used to it, but compared to other guns, it's not something I've run into before. There are a few things I'm going to take off for: the shorter grip, the pinching between the magazine and my pinky, the contact with the back of my thumb, and then the trigger guard getting in the way. So because of that, I'm going to have to give fit, for me, a 3.75 out of 5. Now, is the SCCY DVG-1 as advertised? SCCY advertises that the DVG-1 is the perfect companion at the range and for concealed carry. Now, as far as everyday carry, the SCCY DVG-1 is definitely compact. It's right at 5 3/4 inches long and sits at about 4 1/4 inches tall with the magazine. And unloaded, it only weighs 1 pound 1 ounce. So the subcompact 9mm should easily fit into a concealed carry purse or an outside or inside the waistband holster and show very little imprint. Now, as far as the perfect range companion, I'm not so sure about that. Part of that is the things I talked about with fit and the comfort of holding it. I would also say that for me, the SCCY DVG-1 has a bit more felt recoil than I really like, especially one that I want to go shoot a lot. I will say though, in my experience, it is a fairly accurate gun, even though it didn't fit me well. So if it does fit you well, you may absolutely love it and have a great time shooting it. Robbie and I both have shot this gun and been able to be fairly consistent with our impact points, so it definitely would be good in terms of accuracy at the range. And one of our friends in the testing actually listed the SCCY DVG-1 as her favorite handgun in the group. So just because it doesn't fit me great and I haven't had a great time shooting it, doesn't mean that you won't. So overall, it's definitely concealable, and if you feel like it fits you well, it may be incredibly comfortable for you to shoot too. But because it's not really for us, I'm going to take a little bit off here and I'm going to say, as advertised, is a 4.2 out of 5. Now on to construction and durability. The first thing I want to mention here, and you know we absolutely love this, is that these SCCY handguns are made completely in-house in their factory in Daytona Beach, Florida. The SCCY DVG-1 has a polymer frame that you can get in like 8 or 9 different colors, which is one pretty cool feature. You can either get the slide in either black or natural stainless steel, and the slide has front and back serrations to help with working the slide. Although I would say this slide is a little bit difficult to work, especially at first. One nice feature of this gun that we have is that it's optics ready. So you just remove the plate that's on the slide and that reveals a cutout, and you can place the red dot directly on it. I couldn't find the information directly. It appears from my research that the slide is cut for a Shield RMSC platform, which is just like the Glock 43X. We did not put a red dot on this gun and go shoot it, but it's really cool to know that if we wanted to, it would be pretty easy to do. If you don't want to put a red dot, the iron sights on this handgun are actually pretty decent. I find with the 3 dots that it's easy to find them, easy to line them up, and that could be part of why we were able to stay pretty consistent with our shooting. The SCCY DVG-1 has Roebuck quad lock technology, which means that the barrel is locked to the slide in 4 different areas, which they claim is also part of the reason that we were able to be accurate with this gun. It also comes with 2 10-round magazines. Now this is a striker-fired gun. SCCY also has a double-action version called the CPX, if you're interested in that. And now as far as the trigger, one thing that I don't like is that there is no manual safety or a trigger safety. Most of the guns we reviewed have that trigger safety, which I've become fairly used to. So that's one thing that I would like to have on this gun. But I do like the trigger. I feel like that flat-facing trigger is pretty comfortable, which it seems to help me squeeze straight back on the trigger. Speaking of the trigger, we measured trigger pull at over 6 pounds. Now on the website they say it's a 5.5 pound trigger pull. Obviously some of that could be calibration of the tool and things like that. But either way, I think this trigger is a bit too heavy to be very comfortable and easy to shoot. Now, as far as durability, we've had several hundred rounds through it, just like all the other handguns. We also haven't cleaned this one, and so far, no misfires and no issues with cycling. Now, there are a couple of things that I might like to see a little bit different about this gun, so I'm going to take a little bit off for those things, but I'm going to give construction and durability a 4.5 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. There are several retailers that sell this gun, so I was able to find a fair number of reviews. I want to tell you the complaints that people had, as always. Most of the complaints I saw are things that I've already mentioned. Some of the complaints were that the trigger pull is too hard, the slide is too hard to work, and then somebody else also said the slide release is too hard. Others pointed out that the mag itself is loose, and that is also accurate, and that's likely the other reason that I get that pinching in my pinky. A couple of other people mentioned issues with the last couple of rounds loading from the magazine. Now, we didn't have that issue, but I just want you to know that's out there. And finally, any other reviews that took points off mainly said it's a good gun for the cost, but it's not as nice as other guns. You know what we do? We tell you the score we found. So the SCCY DVG-1 for testimonials and reviews gets a 4.6 out of 5. And finally, should you buy this thing? Okay, you know what I'm going to say. First, it really depends on what you want the gun for. And second, if there's any possible way you can go shoot this gun, or any handgun for that matter, before you buy it, absolutely 100% go do it. You can tell from our review that this isn't one of our favorite guns in the array of those we tested. But as I mentioned, one of my friends put it in their top 3. And at the price point, if you do like it, it'd be a great option. MSRP is right at about $340, and I actually just saw some online for about $215. If you're looking for an everyday carry gun, the SCCY DVG-1 may be right where you need to look. It's a good gun that's been very accurate for us. So if it fits you well and you like shooting it, it could be the absolute perfect option. But for me, I want something that I'm going to absolutely love to shoot. So because of that, I'm going to give Should You Buy This Thing a 4.1 out of 5. Whew. We did it. Hey, thanks for watching our SCCY DVG-1 review video. While you're here, watch a bunch of other videos, give them a thumbs up. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Check out our website, reviewthisthingtv.com, where you can find all sorts of other information and deals and discounts. And as always, thanks for watching.